All right, looks like we should have everyone here. We can go ahead and get started. Thanks for joining our webinar today. This specific webinar is the Start Plus Review Approval Workflows and Verify I9s. For this webinar, I'm going to be logging in as a payroll accountant to show how to approve offers as well as verify I9s, but you do not need to be a payroll accountant to do those things. You can be assigned to do those things by your production. So no worries if you're not a payroll accountant and you're on the call, that's okay. You may be just an approver, or you may be someone who was tasked with verifying your crew's I9s. So role doesn't really matter as much as long as you were given the responsibility, then you will see the screens that we see. I'll be using a test project in a testing environment, so we're not showing any real information. So keep in mind, mine may look a little differently than yours because it is a testing environment, but all the steps I take will be the same ones you take. At the end, for everyone, I'll also share some additional resources. So we have an online learning academy that has a bunch of free content. It's all free. We have our YouTube channel with a bunch of product training playlists. And we have our help center as step-by-step guides. Feel free to throw questions in the chat throughout the webinar, and I'll open up the floor to questions as well at the end. We just hold questions until the end to make sure we don't get sidetracked and run out of time. But other than that, I think we're ready to go. Right now, I'm on my dashboard here. Your dashboard may look similar or different than mine. It really depends on how your project wants to set up your account. For example, my specific account for my payroll account, whose name is literally production payroll, I have what we call a combined account. I can see my personal information, like my time cards, my personal pay stubs, and I can also see payroll information for my project. So yours may look differently in the aspect that you may have two separate accounts. That is the other way that your production may set your access up, where you would have one account to look at your personal information, and then a separate account you would log in to just perform your deal memo approvals and your I-9 verifications. You wouldn't have as many tabs. But the payroll tab has an onboarding section that's worth keeping an eye on. Just gives you a really high level overview of what's going on as far as the onboarding goes, like your pending hires, how many I9s need to be verified, and any start packets and where they were uploaded to within Studio Plus. From here, you can see certain things that are pending approval. And for anything that is pending approval, you do have the option to remind those people. So for example, Thomas here, our crew member, hasn't touched this offer, so we can send a reminder to Thomas. Send him an email reminding him you need to get that offer signed if you want to be onboarded and paid. So you can do that for any one of these rows here with that little 3 dots button. You can also dive right into whatever offer on a row just by clicking View and Start Plus. So another quick shortcut. Another area to keep an eye on is just this task section. This is like your virtual desk. Lets you know things that are waiting your specific review. So specifically, production payroll, this person has rejected offers, pending offers, I-9s, and time cards waiting for their review. You can click directly on that review button to be taken right to that as well. So easy way to stay on track and on top of things is just to keep an eye on this task section. But we're going to go ahead and dive in and open up Start Plus here from my app switcher button. Allows me to switch back and forth between different apps, back to the dashboard. You won't have nearly as many. Like I said, this is our testing environment, but great little button here to switch back and forth nice and fast. Next, you'll choose a project you want to work on, which project you need to approve offers for, review offers, all that fun stuff. And here we are. Right now we're on the Manage Offers tab. As far as these tabs go, you may or may not have less or even more tabs than I do. As I mentioned before, it really depends on what you are tasked to do. For example, if you are solely an I-9 reviewer, you were told that you will be the person who's going to verify everybody's I-9, you may log in and only see the I-9 reviews tab. You may not have access to anything else but the I-9 reviews tab. So these tabs can vary depending on the responsibilities that are given to you. We're going to go over a few tabs together. We're going to go over this Manage Offers tab. We're going to go over the Approvals tab, I9 Reviews, and the Offers Documents tab. Manage Crew and Create Offers, those are covered in our offer creation webinar. This Manage Offers tab allows you to keep an eye on all the offers for your project, every offer that's in flight. So because you may be working on a project with a ton of crew members, you may have a lot of offers in this list. So we give you some filtering options. So if you need to narrow down your search, maybe you want to check on a specific department. How's camera department doing with onboarding? Or you want to take a look at a specific status. Maybe you want to see which ones are pending employee and which ones have been rejected by an employee. You can apply those filters and it'll just update your view to only show pending employee and rejected by employee. Helps you narrow down your search if you have a lot in your list. But the other option you have, of course, is a search bar. So you know exactly who you're looking for, the department you're looking for, or an occupation that you want to check. You can use that, of course. These columns here also, anyone that has little up and down arrow icons here, that means they can be sorted, ascending or descending. So I just clicked on start date. So now it's going to show my most recent one at the top. Any of the rows can also be clicked on. And clicking on a row is going to do a few things. It's going to give you a lot of detail about the offer. It's going to show you the terms of hire. It's going to show you the rate. It's going to show you if they have any allowances. And it's also going to show you which documents have been approved, which ones are pending approval, and you can actually click directly on a document to see its progress. So this one has been approved by level 1. It's been approved by me. It's waiting on our level 2 approver, either Juan UPM or Valid Casey. Either one of them needs to log in and approve this document to move it into this approved completed column. So any of these documents you can click on to view the progress and who did what and who needs to do what. And that's just by clicking on the row of the offer itself. So easy to track who needs to do what. The other action you can take too, right from the screen, is use this little 3 vertical dots button. If you didn't know, in the developer world, that is called a meatball menu. So probably never look at that button the same, but clicking the meatball menu, little 3 vertical dots, gives you some options. These options will change depending on that offer status too. Copy offer is great if you know you're going to hire another first assistant camera. You can copy this offer. It'll copy all the details, so you can select a new person to send it off to. And it will copy it, and you'll be able to edit any minor details too. So it doesn't mean that you're copying it and are forced to send it out. But what it does do is it just helps you not have to create an offer completely from scratch. If you know you're going to hire someone with very similar, if not exact terms as this offer, you can copy it. Because this hasn't been approved yet, we can, fully approved, I should say, we can archive it, and it'll just move into this Archives tab here. And you can check the offer history. This is going to be like the digital paper trail. This will build over time. So this was created by me, sent to the crew member, and the crew member accepted it. Those options will change depending on that offer status. For example, this one is pending employee, meaning that the employer was sent the offer, but the employee has not touched it. Oh, sorry, wrong one. There's one other one. I just need to load more. Got a lot of fake offers in here. Here we go. Rejected by employee. There is a different one. This allows you, because it was rejected, it allows you to edit the offer. So you don't have to restart. You don't have to create a whole new offer. You can edit the rejected offer. Anytime an offer is rejected, there also needs to be a comment added. So history, we can see that comment. It's rejected by the crew member. And they said, that is not the rate we agreed on. So instead of creating a whole new offer from scratch, you can edit this offer and update just the rate to do whatever you need to do to make Thomas happy, I guess. So just know that those options may change depending on the status of that offer. For example, pending employee one, if they haven't touched it yet, you can resend it to them if they say they never received it, and you can rescind it. You can cancel it. Since the employee hasn't signed off on it yet, you can rescind the offer. Moving on to approvals, though. This screen is going to have two sub-tabs. Yeah, got your ready for approval and your my approval history. Ready for approval, think of it as your desk. These are ones that are waiting for your review. Approval history are ones that you have reviewed and you have approved or rejected. And they'll be in your list and they're going to show pending approval until they're fully approved by everyone in your project's approval workflow. So for example, these have been approved by myself and everyone above me. This has been approved by me, but level 2 has not touched it. So it doesn't mean that I need to take care of anything. It means that I did my job because it's in my approval history. It's just waiting on that next level. But ready for approval, these are ones that need your review. Just like we saw in the Manage Offers tab, you can click on the row and view a lot of detail. So right away, if you click on that row and you immediately see something that's incorrect, you can reject it. You don't have to open the offer to reject it. If immediately you're like, oh, that's not the right rate, nope, you can reject it right from here. So definitely click on the row just to get a preview of what's to come when you start reviewing. And then when you are ready to review, you're going to click that Review Docs button. And this is going to bring up our document form filler. The first thing it's going to ask you this each time you log in to a fresh session in Star Plus. It's going to ask, do you want to save your signature and initials? This is going to help you fill out and sign off on Star paperwork much, much faster. You're going to see once I get to a field where I have to put in either my initials or my signature, all I'll have to do is click. I won't have to type out my name each and every time to sign it. So yes, I do want to save it for my session. And now we're just going through and actually looking at the forms that are included in the offer. On the left side are all the forms that we need to review. You can see one is already approved, and that's just because this is an informational form. We don't need to sign it. It's just something that gets sent automatically because this crew member works for us in New York. So that one's already good to go. But these ones, you can tell because they're gray, they need to be completed. Clicking on a document also will expand and show you what needs to be completed, the fields within. Along the top, you have a toolbar if you need to zoom in, zoom out. These arrows, if you hover over them, it'll tell you exactly what they'll do. You can flip from document to document. You can flip from the start to an end of a document, and you can flip page by page in documents. At any point in time, if you're filling out an offer and approving an offer and you need to leave your desk, you can save your progress. The approve offer button here, it's only going to light up once you have finished signing everything. So you can't actually click that until you fill out all the required fields that need your attention. And then while reviewing at any point in time, if something isn't correct, you can reject it from here too. Now, of course, your job as a reviewer and approver is to read the document, make sure everything on here is accurate and correct, and make sure all the details are what they should be. And then eventually you're going to look for the yellow fields, as yellow fields are required, the same ones that are over here. I do want to show a shortcut though. You can click directly on a field over here on the left, and it'll jump you right to where you need to fill out. But like I said, make sure you're actually reading and verifying all the information is correct, but just know that that is a shortcut to jump right to where you need to go. And because I saved my signature, a single click is going to sign it. And for any dates on any forms, you're going to see this little calendar icon. You can click that and it'll just insert today's date. Lets us know we're good to go. We can continue down here, or we can also click on whatever document we want to fill out. But you can see here, we got green check marks. That is complete. Form is complete. Moving on to the next one. And you're going to see this is very, very rinse and repeat. You're going to verify everything on here is correct. sign, and date. Form is complete. We're good to go. So Start Plus, especially with signing and proving deal memos, the thing that's going to take the longest is you reading the information on all the forms and verifying it's correct. The actual filling out, as you can see, is very easy and quick. There we go. Everything here is green check mark all up the board, and then approve offer button has lit up. So we are good to approve that offer. And it is out of our list. So now we'll take a look at I9 reviews. You're going to see this is very, very similar to what we just saw. This is, of course, when your crew members are coming with their proof of I9 employment eligibility, whether it's a List A document or a List B and C document. They're standing in front of you with that information, and you are filling in what you see on that document into the form. You're going to have your list of people here that need their I9s verified. Obviously, we're a fake project. That's why we have an insane past due date on some of these. But usually I9 should be verified within the first 3 days that the crew member is onboarded to make sure that they're eligible for employment and can be paid. When you find that person, when that person walks up to you, you can use a search bar to find them. And then you're going to click this verify button to open up their I9 form. This is pre-filled with what they filled out when they first accepted the offer. On the left side is what you need to fill out as the I9 verifier. You can see it's the exact same document filler that we saw when we were approving an offer. Same field list on the left, same toolbar along the top, same button options. So very familiar. Same shortcut to click directly on a field. The one difference between this and the other ones that we saw are these 3 options here, right? I9, they're either going to bring in a List A option or List B and C. This form has logic built into it. So for example, if they bring in a List B and C item, as soon as you select a List B item, List A no longer is required. It gets removed from your list of fields. Same goes if you do the opposite, like a passport. List B and C aren't required because you chose List A. We'll do passport. And again, this is where you are looking at the passport that this person has brought in front of you, and you are filling out what you see on that passport. So we'll say Department of State. Here's our wonderful document number. And we'll say 0101 2030 is our expiration date. So again, this is where you're looking directly on the document, filling out those details. We have some more required fields, like what was their first day of employment? We'll just say today. And then it's asking for the last name, first name, and title of employer or authorized representative. So my last name is payroll. First name is production. As far as title of employer or authorized representative goes, you may want to check with your project or production. Sometimes this maybe they want the studio name, ABC, Disney, whatever it is, or they want the production company name here. So I would say just double check, make sure that you're filling out what they prefer. I'm just going to put my job title. I'll just say payroll accountant. And if you remember, we did save our signature when we first started approving an offer, but because I9s are federal documents, that won't work. I9s need to be manually signed each and every time they're verified because it is a federal document. So when I click on sign here, it's going to ask me to type in my first and last name in order to sign this. Oops, there's not my last name. Production, payroll. So that save signature will work on any offers you're approving, but anytime if you're an I9 verifier, you will have to manually sign it just by typing in your first and last name. And last field is the little date field, and there we go. This I9 has everything filled out. We are good to verify, and this crew member's employment eligibility is good to go. All right. Last tab I'll go over is just this offers documents tab. may come in handy someday. Essentially, this allows you to download any fully approved offers for your project. You have the option to open a specific file if you're looking for one specific file within the offer. You can download a PDF version of the entire offer, or you can download a zip folder with all the individual files inside. So we'll do download PDF, and you'll see what it's going to do is it's just going to put it in a very nicely formed PDF with a table of contents and show all the forms within fully filled out. Tells you who signed what. And each document is also going to have this history, this paper trail, let you know exactly who did what at what time. And that's for every form that's within the start packet. So offers documents tab allows you to download fully approved offers. If you have a huge list, you have these filtering options as well. All right. Before I open up the floor to questions, I will just share those other resources I mentioned. So this is, again, that free online learning academy. So you can learn by occupation or dive right into a course like approving offers. If you've never taken a course in our online academy, when you go to register, just make sure you're switching to that sign up tab. This is a separate account than your cast and crew account. This is a student account, so it saves all your learning progress. I'll share our Start Plus product training playlist here on our YouTube channel. There it is. And then once you get here, of course, you can browse any of our other playlists. And then lastly, I'll share our Start Plus Help Center as well. So if you prefer to read and follow along with step-by-step instructions,